Forget the weightless CGI fights from previous Marvel films. Brave New World is taking action back to its roots. Marvel didn't just minimize green screen use, they completely reworked how action scenes are filmed, making sure every hit, dodge, and explosion felt physically impactful. One of the biggest changes in Brave New World was Anthony Mackie's deep involvement in his own stunts. This isn't just a few punches and kicks for the camera, he went through months of physical training. Sam Wilson isn't a super soldier, so his combat style had to be tactical, efficient, and practical. Marvel brought in real military consultants and professional stunt coordinators to ensure authenticity. Close Quarters Combat, or CQC, refers to military-style fighting techniques designed for confined spaces, focusing on quick, decisive takedowns. Instead of trading blows, Sam relies on speed, precision, and environmental awareness. He uses joint locks, pressure points, and redirection to neutralize opponents in seconds. Street-style brawling means adapting to unpredictable fights, incorporating elements from boxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Sam mixes controlled strikes, low kicks, and grappling to gain the upper hand. Improvised weapons are a key part of his arsenal, grabbing bricks, pipes, or anything in his surroundings to turn the environment into a weapon. Wire work for aerial stunts ensures that Sam's agility and Falcon suit maneuvers look fluid and believable. Instead of using CGI to simulate flight sequences, Mackie trained extensively with wire rigs, learning to control his balance and movement mid-air. The stunt team combined practical wire stunts with real-world aerial maneuvers, creating a seamless transition between ground combat and flight, making every action scene feel grounded, intense, and true to the character. Marvel could have relied on CGI for high-speed chases, but instead, they used real motorcycle stunts to bring authenticity to Captain America, Brave New World. Anthony Mackie trained with professional stunt riders to ensure he looked natural on a moving bike, focusing on posture, acceleration control, and handling at high speeds. Instead of digitally rendering crashes, real motorcycles were flipped, skidded, and slid across pavement in controlled stunt sequences, using practical effects to enhance realism. One of the most difficult stunts involved a wire-assisted maneuver where Mackie had to jump off a moving bike while dodging an oncoming vehicle. The timing had to be precise, requiring split-second coordination between the rig operators and the stunt team. Even experienced performers called it one of the most challenging stunts of the film. To keep the sequence fluid, handheld and gyro-stabilized cameras followed the action dynamically, capturing the intensity of real-world speed and danger without relying on artificial effects. Sam Wilson is not Steve Rogers, no super serum, no enhanced strength, no fast healing. That means every fight sequence had to be completely redesigned. Sam Wilson's combat style in Captain America, Brave New World had to be completely redefined since he lacks superhuman strength, relying instead on speed, precision, and tactical efficiency. Every move is calculated, designed to neutralize opponents quickly rather than overpower them. Unlike Steve Rogers, who used the shield as both a weapon and a projectile, Sam's approach is more defensive. He uses it as mobile cover, a striking tool in close combat, and a way to absorb impacts. Instead of one-punch knockouts, his technique focuses on disabling enemies through targeted strikes to pressure points, joint locks, and well-placed blows to vulnerable areas. Marvel brought in real Air Force consultants to train Mackie and the stunt team in authentic military movement, ensuring that Sam's combat style reflects the techniques used by elite soldiers. His fights emphasize real-world combat tactics, where positioning, environmental awareness, and adaptability matter more than brute force. One of the biggest technical challenges: filming Sam Wilson's flight sequences while keeping them realistic. Marvel partnered with Gravity Industries, a real-world company that builds functioning jet suits. Marvel wanted Sam Wilson's flight sequences in Captain America, Brave New World to feel more realistic, avoiding the weightless CGI look of past films. Instead of relying entirely on green screens, they used real drone cameras to track actors in midair, capturing natural motion and perspective. Richard Browning, the inventor of a real-life jet suit, worked with the production team to demonstrate how a person would actually maneuver in flight, influencing the way Sam's aerial movements were choreographed. To enhance realism, aerial stunt performers were suspended in harnesses, allowing them to simulate real flight dynamics rather than floating in artificial CGI environments. Every movement had to feel controlled and reactive, ensuring that Sam's flying style had the weight and physics of real-world flight. The result is sharper turns, more grounded aerial combat, and a level of realism that makes these sequences stand out from previous MCU flight scenes. Marvel abandoned the overly polished, digital-heavy look and went back to raw, intense filmmaking. The cinematography in Captain America, Brave New World was designed to feel more immersive and intense, pulling the audience directly into the action. Instead of the smooth, overly polished look of past MCU films, the filmmakers used handheld cameras to capture fight sequences, creating a sense of chaos and urgency. The shaky, in-the-moment framing makes every punch, dodge, and takedown feel raw and personal. For chase sequences, gyro-stabilized rigs were used to follow characters dynamically, ensuring that fast-paced foot chases felt fluid and natural rather than artificially controlled. Practical explosions replaced digitally created fireballs, adding real lighting effects, shockwaves, and debris, making destruction feel more impactful. By combining these techniques, the film brings a gritty, grounded aesthetic to the MCU, making action scenes feel more immediate and visceral. The director studied spy thrillers like The Bourne Identity and took inspiration from Captain America, The Winter Soldier, ensuring that Brave New World feels more like an espionage thriller than a typical superhero movie. Harrison Ford stepping into the role of General Thaddeus Ross is already a major moment for the MCU, but his transformation into Red Hulk is something entirely new. Marvel took a different approach to bringing Red Hulk to life in Captain America, Brave New World, minimizing CGI reliance and focusing on practical performance capture. Instead of simply providing voice work, Harrison Ford acted out key transformation scenes in a motion capture suit, allowing his physical performance to shape the character's movements. Unlike Bruce Banner's Hulk, who moves with raw power and unpredictability, Red Hulk's movement is more tactical, calculated, and militaristic, reflecting Ross's background as a high-ranking general. To enhance realism, Marvel used real-life muscle structures and Ford's own facial expressions as a reference, ensuring that the transformation felt more organic rather than artificially animated. This version of Red Hulk is designed to be more unsettling and raw, making his presence feel genuinely menacing rather than just another CGI monster. Joaquin Torres steps into the Falcon role, but how do you film his flight differently from Sam Wilson's? Marvel wanted Joaquin Torres' Falcon suit to feel distinct from previous flight-based heroes like Iron Man, so they focused on realistic aerial combat inspired by nature. Instead of smooth, controlled floating, Torres' movements resembled those of a bird of prey. Quick directional changes, fast dives, and unpredictable flight patterns. To achieve this, Marvel hired base jumpers and wind tunnel experts to develop aerial fight choreography based on real physics, ensuring that Torres' movements felt dynamic and responsive to the environment. The stunt team studied how real birds attack midair, incorporating sudden swoops, angular turns, and evasive maneuvers into his flight style, giving him a unique identity in the MCU. By focusing on practical aerial physics rather than CGI shortcuts, Brave New World delivers a more immersive and thrilling take on superhero flight combat. Forget simple hero-villain storylines. Brave New World leans heavily into political intrigue, secret military projects, and government conspiracies. Captain America, Brave New World isn't just an action film. It dives deep into political themes and government conspiracies, bringing Marvel back to its espionage roots. Isaiah Bradley's story continues, uncovering more hidden truths about the Super Soldier program and its dark history, forcing the government to answer for its past experiments. Red Hulk becomes a symbol of unchecked military power, representing how authorities try to control superhumans as weapons rather than protectors, creating tension between heroes and the government. Samuel Stearns, also known as the Leader, introduces a new kind of villainy, psychological warfare, suggesting that the real threat isn't just physical but deeply embedded in political and scientific manipulation. By focusing on these themes, Brave New World shifts away from traditional superhero storytelling and brings back the intense, thought-provoking espionage elements that made The Winter Soldier so impactful. Captain America, Brave New World isn't just another superhero flick. It's a return to real stunts, tactical combat, and grounded espionage storytelling. With brutal fight scenes, real aerial stunts, and intense political themes, this film is shaping up to be one of the most unique MCU entries to date. Is this the future of Marvel? A move away from CGI spectacles back to raw, realistic action? If so, Brave New World is leading the way.